In this video we are going to talk about the 10 scariest movies you don't dare to watch alone, curling up on the couch with a drink of red wine and watching a scary movie if you enjoy them. Number 10. Halloween. A horror classic and, for obvious reasons, an excellent choice for Halloween night. Jamie Lee Curtis and a group of teenage friends are tormented by the one and only Michael Myers, who has recently escaped from the mental facility where he spent the better part of his life incarcerated. Jump scares in abundance, scary scenes of Myers just wandering around in unexpected places, and a score that will likely stay with you for the rest of your life are all on display in this film. Number 9. The Strangers. For the entire duration of the film, Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman are hounded by a group of young men dressed in masks for absolutely no reason. It's frightening because it may happen to you as well. Number 8. Get Out. We believe it should have won Best Picture, but will take Best Screenplay above anything else. Despite the fact that movie manages to be entertaining, hilarious, and really horrifying all at the same time, Get Out is a masterpiece of filmmaking. A film that was lauded for its capacity to terrify audiences, as well as for being extremely intelligent and woke, as well as for including a white girlfriend who seems to empathize with her POC partner, but is actually a giant wicked bitch. Keep an eye on it. Number 7. Martyrs. Martyrs is a terrifying game in the best conceivable manner. It's essentially 3 horror films in one, drawing inspiration from slasher classics, torture porn films, and more intimate psychological thrillers to create a film that you should absolutely not watch alone, but that you should watch alone for the purposes of this list. However, you should be aware that you will feel different thereafter. Number 6. Jeepers Creepers. You might be surprised to learn that Jeepers Creepers is ranked so high on this list. You shouldn't be, because it's a bloody scary experience. It is played by Justin Long, who plays the role of a sweating adolescent who is simply trying to get himself and his sister home for the summer when an odd winged creature wearing a hat shows up and decides to add them to his basement collection of humans. If it weren't for the van sequence at the beginning of the film would not have even been considered for inclusion on this list. It's a terrifying experience. Number 5. It Follows. STI horror film in which you are hunted down and killed until you pass the virus on to someone else by engaging in penetrative intercourse with them is a must-see. Film critics have offered a variety of interpretations of the genesis of it and the film's symbolism in It Follows. The film has been interpreted as a parable about HIV/AIDS, other sexually transmitted infections, and social perceptions of them, as well as the sexual revolution, primal anxieties about intimacy, and post-Great Recession economic anxiety, according to critics. "I'm not particularly that interested in where it comes from," Mitchell said. "To me, it's dream logic in the sense that they're in a nightmare, and there's no way to solve a nightmare when you're in one. Even if you make an attempt to solve it. While Jamie opens herself up to risk through sex, the one way she can remove herself from that danger is through sex," Mitchell added. "We're all here for a certain length of time, and we can't avoid our mortality, but love and sex are 2 methods to at least momentarily put death out of our minds." Number 4. Saw. Stop whining, guys. Saw is a masterpiece of horror filmmaking, and we will not tolerate a single negative word being said about it. For a while, forget about the franchise, forget about the 9 or so films that came after the first one, and just concentrate on the first one. Saw was launched in 2004 on the world's smallest budget, and with only one trap, a reverse bear trap, thanks to a short film with the smallest budget in the world at the time. Even if the production value is minimal, and the acting is at times dubious, the film has a surprise that will have you doubting all of your preconceived notions about horror and probably even life in general. Prepare to feel worried out, disgusted, and completely blown away by this experience. Number 3. The Blair Witch Project. There are 3 people in the woods, 2 boys and a girl who has nothing but a video camera, a runny nose, and an urban legend about a witch who lives in the area. It starts out slowly, which is a good thing since once it gets rolling, it doesn't let up till the end. This is the kind of horror that you watch with your fingers between your teeth, and it legitimately terrifies its viewers without actually revealing much of anything. The photo of the person standing alone in the corner gets an honorable mention, since that garbage has stuck with us for years. Number 2. The Shining. You are about to witness one of the most disturbing and disconcerting films you will ever see in your whole life, and it's here in front of you. Who among us could have imagined that putting Jack Nicholson in a red bomber jacket and arming him with a baseball bat would result in one of the most horrifying sequences ever seen in a film about horror? But don't let it detract from the incredible brilliance of the rest of The Shining, which is jam-packed with the creepiest one-perfect shots you'll ever see, including one of the most memorable of all time. Take into consideration the elderly woman in the bathtub, the bodies of twin girls, and that one scene in the bathroom, and you'll understand what we're talking about. Number 1. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Do not sit up for 7 nights in a row after watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre convinced you can hear the score playing in your brain. We dare you to do so. This picture was released in 1974, and despite all that has happened since then, it continues to be one of the most horrifying films you will ever see on the big screen. The film's underlying themes have sparked a lot of debate among reviewers and historians, who see it as a prototypical exploitation picture in which female characters are exposed to cruel, sadistic brutality. The horror is formed of the pain of the young woman imprisoned and abused amid decaying arms and mobiles constructed of human bones and teeth, according to Stephen Prince. It uses the final girl trope, the heroine and the lone survivor who somehow escapes the horror that befalls the other characters, as seen in many slasher films. Sally Hardesty is wounded and tormented, but manages to survive with the help of a male truck driver. 152. Even in exploitation films where the ratio of male to female deaths is about equal, critics contend that the images that linger will be of violence perpetrated against female characters. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre exemplifies this point. 3 men are quickly slain, but 1 woman is cruelly slaughtered, hung on a meat hook, and the surviving lady is subjected to physical and emotional anguish. The meat hook sequence was described by critic Mary Mackey in 1977 as perhaps the most gruesome on-screen female death in any commercially marketed picture. She categorized it as part of a long series of violent films that portray women as helpless and powerless. A group of men was shown 5 films displaying various levels of violence towards women in one research. They felt depressed and anxious after watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the first time, yet, on repeated viewings, they found the violence against women less upsetting and more pleasurable. Another study including 30 male and female university students looked into gender-specific perceptions of slasher flicks. The screaming, particularly Sally's, was regarded by one male participant as the most disturbing thing in the movie. Essentially, 1 hour and 30 minutes of pure and total terror culminated in a final photo that is nothing short of magnificent. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.